Shanik, there's this talk in the US potentially entering recession in the next 3 to 6 months. Have you seen any effect for what's happening in your territory in Australia?
Hmm. Interesting question. Short answer, not as yet. And I say that with a caveat because what I'm hearing in the US right now is talent is freezing.
Yeah.
There's stops in spending.
Mhm.
Over the last 6 months, Jeremiah, I joined this new organization. We're in the tech space,
Mhm.
working with organizations to drive technology growth. And talking with CIOs and CFOs in the Australian market, I actually haven't seen them taking a backward step. What's been really interesting is that from an economic perspective, what we saw back in March 2020,
Mhm.
we saw customers and organizations cut spending,
Right.
reducing talent, etc. But back then, we actually weren't that affected from an economic perspective to what we are right now. With interest
Mhm.
rates going up, with potentially Australia going into recession as well, with downturn in economic growth. Even though that's the case, organizations are still looking to hire more people. They're looking to drive technology growth and spending. They're looking to be more strategic in how they go and interact with their clients. So I haven't seen the impact as yet. Now, if you ask that question maybe in 2 months' time, maybe it might be a different case in Australia.
Right.
But
Right.
to be seen.
Okay. As a follow-up question to this, how does this potential development impact relationships with clients, right? I see when things go bad, there are certain people who complain like, okay, how can I sell? The economies is tanking. But then it's actually an opportunity for the really elite sales professionals or even account manager to stand out. So what's your take on potentially having a bad economy? How does that impact relationship with clients and doing business with them?
It's twofold. So the way that I think about it is, right now, those elite salespeople will see this as an opportunity to go and educate their client on what potentially could happen.
Mhm.
One of the best lines that I like to use in sales is, working with organizations similar to you. Now we can take that and flip that and say, working with in markets similar to the Australian market, we're seeing that the US market is shifted a little bit, and this is what we've seen. Reference some research that maybe Gartner or McKinsey or Forrester have just recently published, and say, based on this research, these are a couple of things that have happened in the US economy that are affecting organizations today. Have you considered this? Have you thought about this? What are you doing to prevent this? What's the plans that you have in place? So, and I think the idea of rebuilding relationships has shifted as well. When we're in a growing economy, it's very easy to build relations based on familiarity. And what I mean by that is, if you have a working relationship with a client by taking them out for coffee, wining and dining, because generally, if organized economy is growing, businesses will spend. But I think when we go into stable growth, flatline growth, or we're seeing a little bit of a downturn, the concept of a relationship has to change from a sense of familiarity to driving value and driving perspective and constantly educating the client and teaching them something, right? And that's where we really can come in and play an impact, or play a part for organizations from that perspective. So I think, you'll start to see those organizations who are far ahead of those organizations that are just thinking about day-to-day activities. Those organizations are much far ahead will now start to work with their clients to build, strategies around how to plan for potential impact to the economy.
Right.
So
what I like about that, your inputs, is that it's not just the quantity of the touch points with your customers and clients, the quality of the touch point, right? Adding value, positioning yourself as a trusted advisor so that when the economy, isn't so good, you are the person they go to for advice, for inputs on how they should pivot or move forward.
And to add to that, I've been a BDM for about 6 years. I transitioned to an account manager in the last 6 months. And I think that, for some of the audience who might be listening to this, if you're a BDM and AM, I think it's still the same skills and the same approach that we take. Even though we're working with, as an account manager right now, even though we're working with clients, we still need to earn the right to go in and find more business. And one of the ways we can do that is by sharing this perspective about what might happen in the next 2 to 3 months. As a BDM, that's a fantastic way to get into an organization. Without going in and talking about who we are and what we do, going in and share a perspective, mate. A CFO working with clients similar to you in other regions, we've been finding X. Can I have a discussion to talk to you about, what's happening in these markets and how that could potentially have an impact on you?
Yeah.
So that shift in the discussion, right?